Sitaram, I am Zalisa Budu Singh Rupani, inviting you to join me for the dynamic program Conversations with Zalisa, where we discuss health, business and economy, politics, crime, finance, social issues, law and entertainment, right here on TV Jagriti, Mondays to Fridays from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Conversations with Zalisa. Again to all of our listeners on Radio Jagriti 102.7 FM, all of our viewers on TV Jagriti, thanking you kindly for choosing us, allowing us to be your number one on this terrific Tuesday, 24th May 2016. This is a program, Conversations with Zalisa. As you know, we're into a very beautiful time, the flavor of the season, Indian arrival 2016, and it marks 171 years since our forefathers came to this land. And of course, with me, a true son of the soil, a young fella whom I do have a great respect and admiration for, because his passion and love for culture is really very, very deep. And he's very dedicated to what he does, very committed. So without wasting any time, let's say Sitaram, and a very warm welcome to Naresh Timal. And he's locally known as the Biraha Raja, the king of Biraha. Tell us a little bit about yourself, and where did you recognize the fact that, listen, I love my culture, I want to keep it alive, and I want to make sure the next generation understand what rich culture is all about.
Sitaram viewers and listeners on TV and Radio Jagriti. As Zalisa said, my name is Naresh Timal and I'm known as the Biraha Raja. About 5 years ago, I started to listen to Biraha singing on CDs by Ramdeen Chotu and Mr. Rupnarayan Gayadeen, also Sadhu Bodram Ramgulam from down in South, and the Mansaram brothers from Bhokal.
Yeah.
And there's when I realized music has this power to move us.
Certainly.
There are messages that you can bring across in music that are very, very powerful.
Yes.
And I thought to myself, after these guys have gone, there are really no one else that is bringing this art form to the forefront.
Yeah.
That is performing Biraha. And so I decided to take up the mantle and bring Biraha singing back to the forefront. So what I started to do, being in the Ramayana group with Pandit Krishna and a lot of other Pandits, I do go around with a lot of other Pandits.
I know you are throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah. So a lot of these Pandits, when I go with them, they would have recognized that I did mention what I was doing, and they would have started now. Well, now we'll have a bhajan by so-and-so. But when they reach me now, they say, we'll now have a Biraha by Naresh. That
identified something. Naresh, you said something that was very, very instrumental and very important, and the power of music. Because what it does, it ignites something from within, and it does something to the spirit and the soul as well.
Yes.
And more so, it moves when we know it's a cultural item. It's something that was brought by our forefathers, and to be kept alive for 171 years is not an easy task.
Not an easy
with
task.
This new generation.
Well, actually, Biraha is derived from a word called Bihara, or it's called separation. And this started when the Gwals and the Gwalins were separated from Kanha. So while they were attending to the cows, they would start to sing these songs of separation that kind of pacified them, so to say.
Yes, yeah.
Another form of Biraha singing is when in the villages, they would have like a news carrier, so to say.
Yeah.
So he would stand on a little platform in the village, and he would sing about the current issues, almost like what we have local extempo.
Yeah, yeah. All the social things that were happening.
Yeah, so even daily events, because back in those days, very few people could have read the newspapers.
It was a way of getting the message across.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is how Biraha singing started as well in India, in Bihar. And also, when they were leaving India to come to Trinidad, they didn't know where they was coming, much more to know what was happening.
Exactly.
So that is why all they knew was their God. And that is why Biraha singing took a turn towards more of the religious side coming to Trinidad.
Yes. So we're going to go to our first selection this morning.
Yes.
And you're going to do a folk selection.
A folk selection. And it's going to talk about the birth of Ram in Ayodhya.
Right.
That everyone is so happy. And that, you know, in the, it's actually one of my selections I recorded, and it's being played on Jagriti throughout, especially at the time of Ram Janam. And it's a song, you know, it's celebrating the life, just like in Trinidad, tying it back to Trinidad, that when you have a child, the dagrin will come, the midwife will come, cut the neighbor's ring, and all those things.
Very traditional.
Yeah, traditional, mixing it a bit. So we'll do that selection.
Let's go to this selection. We'll be back right after this message. Stay with us.
Harinaumi titi madhumasa punita Sukla pakshaya bijithari prita Hare Ram Janam Dasarat ke Bhavan mein Ram Janam Dasarat ke Bhavan mein Ram Janam Dasarat ke Bhavan mein O Dasarat ke Bhavan mein Dasarat ke Bhavan mein O Ram Janam Dasarat ke Bhavan mein Ram Janam Dasarat ke Bhavan mein Ave tagaraniya nana chiran ki Ave tagaraniya nana chiran rasarat ke bhavan mein Nana chiran rasarat ke bhavan mein Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein O Ave dagariya halwa goran se Ave subajra halwa goran se halwa goran rasarat ke bhavan mein Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein Ave ke devarya palna julan ki Ave devraniya palna julan rasarat ke bhavan mein palna julan rasarat ke bhavan mein Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein O dasarat ke bhavan mein Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein O Ram janam rasarat ke bhavan mein
Of course, you're listening to us on Radio Jagriti 102.7 FM and you're viewing us on TV Jagriti. This is a special edition, of course, highlighting the talents of our sons and daughters on the program Conversations with Zalisa on radio and TV Jagriti. This morning, quite pleased to have the Biraha Raja himself, Naresh Timal, accompanied by some fantastic people. Perhaps you can share with us.
On the harmonium, I have brought with me this morning Mr. Boise Munsami, and you know, he himself is doing his part in culture, going around and continuing the folk singing.
Right.
On the dholak, we have Rajneesh Tulshiram Prasad, and he and all goes throughout the breadth and length of Trinidad with me, performing Biraha and playing drum for all my folk songs. And on the dhantal, we have Anish Kishan Tulsi from the Brazil area, San Rafael area. Both of them also accompany me as the Biraha Raja throughout the lengths and breadths of Trinidad. They are very wonderful people, and you know, I want you all to notice the youth and the young men that our group is mainly men, and it's kind of breaking away from the traditional aspect of having an old ladies group. So now we have a young.
But I love the fact it's very nice that you incorporated young people. But let me tell you, I adore and love the older ladies. When they get together, I tell you, they're just captivating as well. But it is important that the young ones, we gravitate and teach the young ones so our traditions will continue to stay alive and go on.
Well, I just want to bring a point there that long ago in weddings, when you go to a Matiko, you'd hear a song like Hare Chauke Parabaiti Dulahi Ramadharati Manavela Ho. And that song is inviting the devatas to come at the Matiko, right? And these songs were sung by ladies. But then now, you don't have ladies coming and singing these songs forward anymore. So I myself have taken up that mantle also of learning those songs and going and doing it. So we can't depend, I mean, if we say, well, that's a lady song, let them ladies sing that.
It will be
it will
die.
die. Yeah, so we have to at some point cross the barrier and take up the mantle to tote on our shoulders.
What would you say over the years would have been your greatest challenge that you would have had with regards to, you know, choosing this line and this type of singing and this style and these traditions?
I'll be very frank here. One of my greatest challenge was having my regular job and then having to come and bathe ready and go out again and perform Biraha. Now, my Biraha performance, what I have done with it is recreated it, so to say. And this is something that I always keep adding, is because I have to continue making it attractive for the youths. That is my main goal here, to make it attractive to the youths.
That's very true, and it's a challenge.
Yeah, it is a challenge because with the kind of society we have now, it's very hard. So what I do, I would make a costume, like a king. Right, and probably on the next program we'll feature that costume.
Certainly.
Yes. And the crown is made by myself. I have my cousins with sew the cape. I bought this sword. I recently bought a mukdar to do a interchanging outfits. And the kurtas, everything is handmade.
So you're being very innovative.
Yes, and if you see them krong and them, girl, them people in India want nothing with you, you know.
Talent, local talent.
And what I do, I would dress like this king. But in Biraha singing long ago, a Biraha singer would just dress in a shirt and a pants and sing.
So you have like a whole performance.
So a performance kind of thing,
yes, very, very captivating.
And the dancers now would dance in a short pants, but on the rim of the pants would have like about 5 layers of the gungurus, so on. And they would tie their waist and dress in a jersey, and that's the Biraha dancers. And they would only dance when the singer stopped singing and the drums started roll. I, however, changed that and mixed in what we call the Raja Harichan dance with the Biraha singing.
Right.
So I would sing a Biraha, but I dress like the king. So that's where the Biraha Raja really came from as well. It's a king singing Biraha.
I understand now.
And well, only recently people have started to change the meaning of the Biraha Raja and say that, you know, he's the king of Biraha.
I think that's nice. Well deserving.
Yes, you know, I must say, no ego here, but I have traveled a lot throughout Trinidad. And one thing that is very touching for me is that no matter where I go, any part of Trinidad, somebody must come and say, you know, you remember my grandfather or my father who used to perform Biraha. And they would start to tell me these stories.
Something.
And that is so touching for me, to know that I can, you know, invigorate that little spark inside of them.
Yeah, bring back that memory. That bond.
And, you know, I have a lot of young people. I have added a page on Facebook called the Biraha Raja, so you all can feel free to go and like it on Facebook. And a lot of young people, most of the time when I go out and perform and I come back home, I have friend requests on my Facebook page as well, adding me and asking me, you was really good, and when you're coming back again, we want to see it. Because
and that's important, that you leave them with wanting more.
And I changed my style of Biraha recently, where before I would sing, I would explain my Biraha.
Right.
But I've started now giving little messages in my Biraha. So one of them, when I started, is I said, when they left India and they came to they were coming to Trinidad. Now, and I love to talk very broken when I'm doing these things. It adds extra sweetness.
Yes.
So I used to say, babe, when they leave India and they come in Trinidad, they may know where they're going, much to know what will happen. They leave in the light and going in the dark. But you know, I always say, happiness could be found in the dark once you remember to turn on the light. And you know, I always remember, I say,
a lot of inspiration.
Inspiration coming there. And they also bringing this, where they say, they didn't know, but they kept God. They sang about God, right? And there's a doha in the Ramayana, Rama Nama Manidi Padadu, Rejipa De Haridwar, Tulasi Bita de Bahiro, Ki Jo Chaha Sojiyad. And the name of Ram is so bright that it illumines the whole inside of us.
Yes.
And these are little messages I would pull and bring across. And I do it in a very humorous way. that it catches the attention and it also the message is delivered. And that is what I think I have, I was really, you know, I was thinking last night, why did I really do this? And then it came to me, I was born to do this.
You were born. Oh, how nice that you've identified your gift from Bhagwan.
Yeah.
And it's nice to know that we can acknowledge our gift and not just acknowledge it, but take it and bring it alive and use it to the best of our ability. And that's when we please Bhagwan. We're going to close things off. I want to thank you for coming here in this wonderful group. And I trust and hope we'll have you on the program. This time an extensive program, an hour program. I'm committing myself.
Right.
Because I think this message and this talent and this gift is important to share with the world, not only with our listeners but our viewers as well. So let's go to this beautiful Biraha selection by the Biraha Raja himself, Naresh Timal, taking us to the top of the hour.
So the Biraha song I'm going to do here now is going to explain, as you know, Trinidad is Hanuman country.